All right, well, welcome. It's part 2 of the GodfatherLocks.com audio report. Last week, we introduced this audio report, and I got a lot of feedback on Twitter, Facebook, and all that good stuff. And a lot of my customers and followers appreciated actually hearing me talk about some of the games and what we had on tap, and especially breaking down the system of how this all works. It really went well. So to get into obviously what we have going on this weekend, again, if you want to know about the system, it's located on the website. If you just go to godfatherlocks.com, you'll see it right there under rating system. If you want a further discussion and interpretation of the system and how it works, it's all listed right there. And of course, you can email me any of your questions, godfatherlocks@gmail.com. I will respond immediately. Also follow us on Twitter at GodfatherLocks. And a lot of specials going on. Ran a special on Tuesday for the opening night of the NBA. $100 for a week, which is 50% off. $50 for a 3-day and $25 for a daily plan. And all I did was go 4-0 on Tuesday, 3-0 in the NBA. It's been a great start to my league, the association, starting out 7-4, but more importantly, 4-2 in my 5-star plays, and a $100 bettor has made $1,100 in the NBA so far. And we're only a couple days in as I'm doing this report on Friday. As for college football and the NFL, had the Saints last night, finished strong last weekend, ripped off a 5 straight victories since the 4 o'clock games kicked off on Sunday with the Cardinals, the Browns, the Saints on Sunday. Monday night's winner with the Redskins, and obviously the Saints yesterday. Currently on a 28-18 NFL run, 44 star units in the last 6.5 weeks of NFL action. So 40-29 run overall, and for the season, plus 31 stars. So that's good. College football, last Saturday was up and down. Really great start to start the day. I mean, we went on a 6-2 run to start the day. Finished a little bit lackluster with some of the games not going my way, including USC losing that game late to Utah. But of course, the good thing about this business is going right back at it in another big Saturday tomorrow. Some of these games are just waiting to cash in. We got Duke and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a -3 against a ranked opponent in Duke. Pitt, again, I had Georgia Tech last weekend. They blew the doors open, and Pittsburgh shouldn't be favored against many teams, but they're favored against Duke. That line stands out. Just going through the schedule right here quickly. You look at the afternoon games. Look, it's Florida and Georgia. I know Gurley's not back yet, and Georgia's been playing well, beating teams pretty handily. They went into Missouri and won, went into Arkansas and won, and now they're an 11-point favorite against Florida. Something tells me Florida might have a cover in them there. Also, TCU, West Virginia. I've been all about Trayvon Boykin. Okay, but Cody Trickett can throw the rock as well with West Virginia. That game, they're calling for some rain, but expect that game to still be high scoring. You could put snow out there and those teams could still score. Interesting line. TCU is listed as a -4 right now, as I'm looking on the website here in that game. 70 points is your over-under. I don't mess with over-unders, and to quickly touch on that, there's a reason why I don't. I'd rather flip a coin. Okay, I'd rather flip a coin and take an over-under before I take a side. I study the sides. I focus on that, and that's what I think I can make money at, and I don't really touch the over-unders. As for a favorite in the afternoon that looks good, how about Kentucky, Missouri? I had Kentucky last week plus 15. They lost by 14, obviously getting us the cover, holding off Mississippi State. Missouri has been struggling. They struggled against Vandy. We had Georgia when Georgia went in there and whooped them, but they're favored by a touchdown or more. I'm looking at an 8-point line. Talk about the odds makers expecting Mock and that offense to get back on the grind. Missouri might be a good play. Obviously, time to marinate on that one. That's not until 3:30 tomorrow, or 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock tomorrow for one of your games. The game of the night. Okay, obviously Auburn versus Ole Miss, 3 versus 4. Look, I got to be honest with you. As the wins come in, the losses come as well. Mississippi last week was a play I had, and I switched. I liked LSU, triggered something with the line, triggered a late night nugget that went with Mississippi, and obviously that late touchdown by LSU got them the 10-7 win. They're right now listed as a 2.5 point favorite. Ole Miss at home, that's an elimination game. I do think Ole Miss is the better team. Now, I don't know about this line. I think pricing it a little more would make me feel a little better about this. But again, time to marinate. The game of the day for me, that was the game of the day on the card. The game of the day comes in the Pac-12. Arizona travels to UCLA, a UCLA team that has been very underachieving, a team that's now ranked again, which is a surprise, and maybe because Hunley's playing a little better. They went into Colorado and barely got a victory. Okay, Colorado, come on. That team could lose to Central Michigan Air Force. I mean, give me another bad team. San Jose State. I don't know. I mean, they're not that good, and UCLA struggled with them, but yet the odds makers place this a 6.5-point favorite against an Arizona team that lost to USC, which we had USC in that game. That's their only loss. I mean, they didn't lose that many games. This is their only loss. They won at Washington State last week, 59-37. They traveled to UCLA, but yet you're almost laying a touchdown. Yeah, that explains that. Of course, we'll have a pick on that tomorrow on the website. As for the NFL, like I said, rolling hot, 28-18 run, 5-0 in my last 5. Look, this Sunday, this weekend has the potential of blowing up. This weekend, for good and bad, but I just feel confident right now going into this weekend with the NFL and college football. The NFL, there is about 4 games that stands out to me, and one of them being that Sunday night game where Pittsburgh they scored 51 points last week. Okay, 51 points. So you're expecting them to come back, and I know it's the Ravens. 51 points. It's Pittsburgh is 5-3. They got it going. They ripped off a couple wins. Yeah, but the Ravens and Pittsburgh always play a tight game, and you got a road favorite. The odds makers aren't impressed. They should have been impressed with that 51 points, but they're not. So look for Baltimore to be a good play on Sunday. As far as how strong I have it, 5-star, 3-star, 2-star, well, I guess you're going to have to buy a package to get that. Eagles, Texans, obviously will be a good game. RG3 returns for Washington. I don't know if that's good or bad. Right now, the odds makers say it's bad because the Vikings are -1. Could be a sharp play on Minnesota coming in. A dog to look out for, obviously Brady and Manning. How do you go against Manning, though? I don't know if I'll be touching that game. But a lot of good games in the NFL. Now, for my bread and butter, the NBA, like I started the podcast with, the NBA is my bread and butter. Look, guys, you got to be betting the NBA, okay? If you're going to buy from me, you got to check in. If your bookie or your books do not take the NBA, click on Bovada, the link on the website, godfatherlocks.com. We take the NBA. You get money back. There's percentages. They offer you up to $250 for your first deposit. So if you're looking to bet and you want the NBA, it's every day, guys. It's every single day. Okay, I started the season, like I said, on Tuesday, ripped off 3 wins, came back on Wednesday, and again, ripped off another 3 wins, had a couple losses, late losses, but they were small ones. So overall, if we're making units and we're staying in the green, you're making money and I'm making money. Okay, so the NBA is big. It is big. It's what I pride myself on. It's what we started this whole thing with. If it wasn't for the NBA, I don't think godfatherlocks.com would have started a couple years ago. So just follow along. It's every single day. I go to work for you. I follow this stuff. I'm looking at tonight's card. Some good games. Cleveland and Chicago. How does LeBron respond? Derrick Rose looked great on Wednesday. Spurs, Suns. The Suns, obviously a rising team. The Spurs pulled out a last-second victory against the Mavs on Tuesday night in their debut. A full board of games tomorrow. And that's another thing. One thing that one of my customers pointed out to me and said, look, should I be concentrating on just college football when it comes to Saturdays or what? Look, I can't make this any more clear. I don't really sleep, okay? So I'm following these lines. I'm following these games. I'm up very early tomorrow. The games, I don't let the NFL or college football take away from my baseball or my basketball picks on the weekends. Obviously, during the week, I might concentrate more on the bigger picks. But the board, if there's a game on the board that I like, I'm going to post it. And we're going to make money doing that. So follow along. Don't think that I'm sleeping on the NBA. I don't. Obviously, college football is big on Saturdays, but the NBA is just as big tomorrow with a huge card. So don't sleep on the NBA. Now, for a special deal, okay, $100 better in the last 3 days has made, let's say $1,100. Okay, $1,100 in the last 3 days. In the last week, a $100 better has made $1,200. Now you're sitting there and saying, okay, that's pretty good. But let's look at a long-term investment. If you're looking to buy long-term, over the last 36 days, a month and about a week, a $100 better has made $4,300 following my system. Now, when I say $100, every 5-star is $500. Now, I realize some of you people listening don't have that kind of bankroll, which is fine. I don't expect you to bet with your mortgage like I told you last week, but just knock that down to $50. You're still making, if you made $4,300 in the last 36, you're still making well over $2,000 for $50 a bet, okay? $50, you times that by 5, you're betting $250 on a game. If I tell you it's a 5-star, it's a good pick. 8 and 4 in my last 12 5-star picks. How about 90 and 70 in my last 160 5-star picks? So those 20 games over 500. If you're betting $500 games, you do the math. It's pretty simple. Or killing the books. Over the last 167 days, $30,900 for one of my loyal customers that has been betting to the system. So just keep on following, keep on making money, and I will lead you. I would lead you to more cash, because overall, as the week goes, we make money. Winning weekend 31 of 40 starts tonight. Buy a plan if you like money. GodfatherLocks.com. Thanks for listening. Good luck.